Yeah, very good evening, everyone. Welcome from Sneak Rehab Foundation. Today we are here for a very interesting topic. Next slide, ma'am. I'll just brief about SNCC Rehab Foundation. SNCC is Special Needs Integration Center. We are based in Nagpur. Our motto is to provide conducive environment for children with special needs so as to facilitate their development, education, and help them to develop their potential to the fullest, enhance their independence, enable them to become a well-adapted individual in society. So for that, we are going to introduce a few sectors in Nagpur: recreational, community, social rehabilitation, homeschooling, vocational daycare, residential hub. Actually, basically, it will cover all the aspects of the special needs which we require, and this will be under one roof. Our motto is to educate parent and develop their perspective towards the right kind of intervention and treatment. Today, we are going to discuss about mental health. Mental health is most important topic factor in everyone's life, especially families with special needs are going through various stress, personal stress, child related, work related, and in every front. So even I thought that we should discuss this topic openly, and then I requested Priya ma'am to take these topic on the board. So Miss Priya Shinde, she is with us. She is a psychotherapist and psychologist. She is a neuro-linguistic programming and ISP integral somatic psychology practitioner. She is founder of Inner Bliss Psychological Healthcare also. And I'm sure these sessions are going to be very fruitful for our mental health. Over to you, Priya ma'am. You can start. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harshali ma'am. So that's me. My name is Priya, and I'm a counseling psychologist and relationship expert. I'm working with children, parents, families, and couples basically. And why I feel I can connect to you because I started my career working in rehabilitation center where I dealt with a lot of special kids. And majorly I worked with, their assessment and their, I dealt with parental counseling. I used to take a lot of psychometric assessments even with parents, and so that time I got to know that it's not only the child, but even parents are suffering a lot. Many issues are there. We will, discuss about everything henceforward. But yes, I feel even they need some sort of support where they will be able to work on themselves because awareness is very important. And that is what we are going to do it, during this webinar. Because everyone like to live a happy life, but they don't know how to. So here maybe I will try to empower you, and maybe it will help you to understand, or you could see a correct direction where you can work on yourself and on your relationship and see if you people are happy, if you are having healthy relationship with your spouse, then definitely your child is also will get benefited out of it. So yes, relationship and parent bonding with each other is very, very, very important. So that's what is all about. So we are going to talk about marriage and relationship basically. So that's me. Marriage. What do we understand by marriage? It's a bonding between two people. It's a lifetime companionship. As we are human beings, we like to live, in a social setting. We want to be with someone. It hardly people will be there, they like to live lonely life, but most of the people choose to live with people, and that is what companionship is needed in humans life. If you have a lifetime companionship, if you have a healthy bonding with your partner, then definitely the journey of life becomes extremely beautiful. So what marriage is all about? A happy marriage doesn't mean you have a perfect spouse or a perfect marriage. It simply means you have chosen to look beyond the imperfections in both, because I feel nobody is perfect. Trust me, neither you nor me. I'm a married person, but still there will be, being psychologist also, many a times I make mistake, but at least I'm aware, right? And because of that awareness, I keep on working on myself. And the journey is like that. We need to work on ourselves. We need to, heal ourselves, heal our emotions. Then only we will be able to grow intellectually, emotionally in our life. So why marriage look miserable when you have a child with special needs? Why? Because initially when you are aware, it starts with denial. Because when you get married, you see a lot of dreams. You have a beautiful bonding with your spouse. And when the child arrives in your life, you are more happier than before. But when slowly, when you start understanding that gradually that my child is something different, he's or she's having some difficulty, he's an initial part, you're not able to understand what it is. So most of the time, 1 or 2 years of that, child, we just keep on understanding the child where he's different, where he's lacking. And initially, when we approach a pediatrician or a developmental pediatrics or speech therapist or occupational therapist, when we, come across that breaking the news, that time initial we build with lot of anxiety, lot of fear, and we just can't accept. And that is what we come into the denial. Most of the times, both the parents are into the denial. Sometimes one of the partner into the denial and another partner is, try to tell a spouse that no, there is some problem, right? So, but somewhere that fear and because of that anxiety, you don't stand on same pace. You don't, be there together, because then conflicts start coming up in your life. Mother completely throw herself into the child. See, I don't want to be gender prejudiced, that this is my observation. It's not necessary it's only mom, it could be father also, but most of the time, means we can say 70-80% of the population, what I have seen, its mother is too much involved in the child, and she, trust me, she doesn't have time for her marriage. Is she wrong? No. Do we have right to judge her? Absolutely no. Then father also has that anxiety. At least mothers can went on somewhere. She has friends or she has families where she expresses herself. She cries and somehow she expresses her emotions. But what happens with fathers? Even he is aware that, something is not right. But somehow he's not able to accept it. Then the question comes, why me? Why we? What we have done wrong in our life? Why it is happening with us? Why my child is suffering? Lot of frustration. And when we are not able to work on itself, then the help gives up. Then they come across tremendous loneliness. One of the partner feels extremely lonely and then misunderstandings start building up. Mother feels that, father doesn't have time for family. He's only busy with, his work, his social life. He's not at all focusing on family and need of the child and need of the spouse. Even I need him, but he's not present there. And fathers also feels equally same. Father feels, oh, she's completely busy and lost in her parenthood. She doesn't have any time for me. And that is the reason the way start getting apart and indifferences start coming. It begins with lot of conflicts, lot of fights. And sometimes you just keep it in yourself. You carry those baggages for lifelong. And one day it comes and it just bursts out. You even face a lot of financial challenges also, because when you're dealing with child, you have to take the child to a different therapies. And the therapies cost, we all know, parents, it's not that, easy. It's really expensive. So again, it is an extra responsibility that we have to manage finance as well. How much ever we are rich or how much ever we are healthy, but every parent face this financial challenges some or the other way. Again, it builds into the frustration. Then uncertainty. We are not aware whether my child is going to behave normally in social setting, whether he will be able to adapt, whether he will be able to independent ever, what will happens to his future, what will happens to his career, how he will live in his future. And most existential anxiety what we face is, what after me? I'm there till that time. I would definitely work on my child, but what will happen to my child when I won't be there in the world? So this extreme uncertainty, later on it, lot of empathy related issues also happens. We discussed before also in couples what happens. They on separate ways, they don't understand each other, a lot of indifferences are there somewhere, that creates lack of empathy in them, and then relationship crisis begins. Survey says that more than 50% of marriages goes for separation when you have a child with special needs. Here again, it is not my survey. The survey, you can just you can read it out on Google. You can do little research over it, then you will understand more than 50% compared to other children parents getting separation. The rate is quite higher when you have a child with special needs. Is it a child's problem? No. Is it your problem? No. It's just that we are not aware what to do with so much of emotional, turbulence inside within you. So much of fear, so much of anxiety, so much of aggression, frustration. So what to do then? Can it ever be better? Definitely it will be better. And I would assure you parents that this workshop, this webinar would help you some or the other way to create that, a healthy mental health and create that great bonding with your spouse. At least you will initiate for that. So before I will dig into the all the topics, I would like to say few things to you, my dear parents. In end of the session, you will receive a Google form link, which you have to fill. Basically, marriage and relationship are such kind of issues where we do not want to discuss it into the public. And as a psychologist, I understand the importance of confidentiality. So I'm going to give you the link where you will receive a Google form. You have to fill that form, the ingredients inside that form, where you will talk about yourself, the concern, what you're facing. And then definitely 2 more session I'll be having. That is, next Monday and after that. So during this 2 more session, I will try to cover maximum things. And so it will help you to relate more, right? So end of the session, you will definitely receive that Google form link. Another thing, let's understand what all things we are going to learn in this webinar. What to do to make life better, where there is so much of adversity, how to work on it, right? Importance of having close relationship, why it is needed so much. Set your priorities, because I feel time management and setting priorities are very important for everywhere. Forgiveness, how to do that, why it is so important in relationship. Developing emotional connectivity with your spouse, how to do that. A strong foundation creates a positive perspective, how to basically do love mapping. It's really needed in any relationships. Then supporting each other's dreams, understanding compatibility. Compatibilities are very important because these are the connections through where your relationship can grow well. So definitely we will spend time on discussing compatibilities as well, building communication, a foundation of any relationship. Communication is really very important. 4 horsemen to avoid, what not to do in relationship. conflict management and problem solving. When two adults are staying together, it is obvious to have, disagreements with each other, but how to deal with that in a healthier manner. So that we are going to discuss. Then regaining romance, sex, and passion, a very important factor in your marriage, in your relationship, and how to regain that. Pursuit have happiness, finding me time, to release stress, what all things we can do, and that's how the workshop is going to happen. Few points we are going to discuss today, and few points will be discussing in next few workshops. So let's again come back. What to do to make life better? Where we came across a lot of adversities, but now what should we do basically to make it better, right? First is acceptance. I know it's very difficult. It's way too difficult, but somehow we need to begin the journey from acceptance. And trust me, parents, the parents who has a great level of acceptance towards their child's difficulty, towards their relationships difficulty, towards their own growth related difficulties, definitely if we are aware and we accept that, then only we have a readiness to work on it, and then we can get better results. And trust me, when I do a lot of parental counseling or couple counseling, the couples who are ready, who accepts, yes, there is a problem, they show a lot of readiness. They are ready to work hard on their relationship. The next is dealing with stigma. I know it's very difficult when such a difficult situation is there. We try to stay away from getting socialized. We feel how we will be able to manage child outside. We have society has stigma associated with, that's what we think, that is our perspective. How my child will be able to function in society. When the child shows some difficult behaviors, then somewhere we are not able to accept that. We feel how do we answer to in a social circle, how we will handle a society. I feel when you accept basically, then dealing with that stigma becomes very easy. It is okay. Have you all seen that Pa movie? The way Vidya Balan handles certain situation, when the child is playing in the park and one of the mother comes and asks her basically that what's wrong with the child, and she's like, yes, he's different, he's special. The positivity on her face, the courage within herself, the acceptance which she had, I think she never ever gave thought what people are thinking about it. See, people are not going to come and help you out. So why do we pay so much of attention what people are thinking about us? See, for us, what should be important? My relationship with my spouse, my family, and my child. I'm just should be vulnerable to these people, and we should create that boundary within ourselves that yes, I can be sensitive towards these people. But outside, what people are judging us, what they are talking about us, how does it matter, my dear friends? I would like to share a small story with you. There was a mother, and she had a son, and the son had a difficult childhood. Basically, people used to call him he's a crazy child, he's not able to function properly in society, he's not good in studies, and school teachers used to tell that he's just good for nothing, he's not going to do anything ever in his life, he's not going to achieve anything. So that mother did not felt bad, or she did not felt demotivated at all. She was very much I would say consistent with her efforts, and she knew, basically she had belief in her child. Yes, my child is different and my child is amazing, and definitely he will prove himself one day. She worked on child so much, and that when the child grew, the child became a scientist, and we know that child as Albert Einstein. If you will read about Albert Einstein, his childhood was tremendous difficulties. Nobody accepted him. People used to feel he's little weird. Okay. But that belief of the mother, that made the difference. Yes. And that's why Albert Einstein could achieve in his life. And that should be the goal. Just leave what people are thinking. Don't get influenced what they're thinking, what they're feeling. You should just focus on the healthy connectivity with your child and with your spouse. That is what meant to be. Reframing, as we will deal with acceptance related things, and when we deal with the child related problems, if we will see it as a problem, then yes, we will see a lot of problems only. But when we will see it in a positive perspective, then it's like, there is a red rose. Now it is up to me whether to look at its thorns or whether to look at its aroma and the beauty. So just enjoy the childhood of your child. Enjoy that time with him or her, and basically try to reframe your mind in a positive way. Setting priorities, yes, very important, and we will soon learn about it. Working on our emotions are very important. For that, we need to first get aware about own emotions. See, all emotions I feel are healthy. It's not like that only feeling happy and feeling positive emotions. We are supposed to feel only positive emotions. No, even negative emotions are part of it. In Hindu religion, we worship Durga as well as Kali. So I feel we can combine both the things together. So everybody has different shades. It's just that this positive and negative emotions are depend on how do we express it. How do we express our anger? How do we express our frustrations? How do we express our fears and anxiety and happiness and joy and surprises? How do we express it? Do we suppress it? Again, it is not going to help you, because when you will try to suppress it, will start making a lot of difficult wounds inside you, and nobody would be able to heal on work on itself. And one fine day that suppressed emotions will burst out, and then it will create a difficult situation. It will lead to a really damage in your life. So yes, working on emotions are very important, and beginning with first identify it, then try to understand and try to assess how do we express my emotions. And yes, you need to learn, you need to make that habit. Yes, I have to express my emotion in a constructive manner. When I'm angry, yes, I have to say that I'm angry at you. But how do we do that? Just sometimes look at your expressions in front of mirror. When you are angry, how your facial expression gets. When you are in fear, how your expression gets. And these expressions when we are dealing with the child or when we are dealing with the spouse, we constantly do that, we constantly carry that. It creates a lot of damage to the relationship if we don't do it constructively. So working on emotion is equally very important. Creating empathy for each other. Please try to understand, my dear parents. Maybe there is absence of father in rearing of your child, but still he's also struggling hard in his work to give you better life. And father, you need to understand the efforts of the mother. That whole day she's there with the child. She's running for the therapy, she's running for his academics, she's running to deal with his day-to-day activities, and it's not easy. It is very obvious that she will build that frustration, and that is the reason we need to share duties sometimes. Even she need a break, and even he needs a break. And that empathy, what empathy is all about, basically standing in somebody's shoes and understand how it pinches, be in that person's positions. We always see that the person is with lot of privileges. Fathers feels, oh, she's there at home, she is nice relaxing. Mother feels, oh, he nicely is going for work and socializing nicely, where his life is getting affected. So basically it's your choice whether to look at negatives or whether to look at positives and to understand each other. And what do we do in therapy? What do we do in counseling process? We majorly work with empathy. When we understand then only we will be having that sensitivity to work with each other, to help each other, and then we will be able to do, or we will be able to share duties with each other. She's going out with her friends, or she's pursuing some hobby, or she's pursuing some of her career. It's sometimes father can share some duties that time. When father is busy with his work, that mother is taking care of few things. This is how the process is going to happen. Like, both marriage is like, it's, I feel bullock cart with two wheels. If one of the wheel is shaking, definitely that is not going to help out in life's journey. So both the wheels should be in alignment and then rolling out together. So you will be able to, go through your path very easily. So being with each other, being together, sharing duties, helping each other to grow, understanding each other matters a lot. Working on emotions, creating empathy with each other, creating harmony through appropriate communication. Many a times I feel conflict arises just because there is an absence of communication, appropriate communication. Either we yell, or either we criticize, either we blame, we show frustrations, but we never come to a point, what do I really want from you? What do I expect from you? We never come to that conclusions. We never, expresses our needs. We never expresses our expectations. We never expresses what I feel. We suppress. Or else we just burst it out. So we need to understand and learn appropriate ways of communication. That also we will be learning in, few slides later. Readiness to work on relationship. So here today many people are attending the session, but the people who would be able to create transformation in their life, if they have a readiness. And I feel most of the people, if you're managing your time, I know time is very precious, and if you are happen to manage that time very well, then definitely you are willing to work on your relationship. Even in therapy, when people comes to me for couple counseling or relationship issues, when they bring that to me, first question I ask them, are you ready to work on it? Are you really willing to work on it? If yes, then only I'll be able to help you out. If no, then nobody can help you out, neither yourself. So that readiness is very important. Working on support system, very important. It's not needed only when you have a child with special needs. It's needed when you are a parent. Support system is very, very, very important, my dear parents. It could be your own parents. It could be your relatives, maybe your siblings or your cousins, maybe your uncle, aunt, whoever it is, maybe your close friends. But support system is really needed, my dear parents. If you have a healthy support system, then you can do multiple different things. But you do not have that healthy support system with you, you will feel extremely alone and helpless. And how you can create that support system? Through your communication, appropriate communication. If you can create that communication with your family well, if you can discuss, if you will make them understand, definitely they will be able to there to help you out. If absence of family, create support system with you can create good friends. I have seen many couples, many families, they have, migrated from some other regions, and still they happen to have very good support system with them when there is completely absence of their family. There are beautiful clubs, beautiful, maybe your work related, your friends, maybe people who stays nearby to you. And I feel Sneak Foundation has taken that initiative to, to work with all this, basically I feel they are creating that support system and reaching out many lives who are aware, who are not aware. They're just trying to help each other to grow. This is called a support system. We just need to work on that. Sometimes you and your wife or you and your husband, if wants to go out somewhere, just want to have some great time together, maybe a dinner or maybe a long drive, or maybe a planning a movie together, you can just ask help. Don't hesitate to ask help. Simply go ahead and ask help. Can you handle my child for few hours? Go out and live your life. I have seen many people, they just hesitate. They throw so much into the child that they forget to live their own life. See, fundamental to your life is happiness and peace. Fundamental of life. If there is absence of peace, if there is absence of joy and happiness, then you're not living the life at all. You're just extending days and days and days. So it is high priority, it should be high priorities to you, that your happiness and your peace. The happiness and peace you should never ever postpone, because we don't know what would happen tomorrow. It should be there in present. इतना हो जाएगा ना तो मैं happy हो जाऊंगी, वैसे करूंगी ना तो मैं हैप्पी हो जाऊंगी, मेरा ये ड्रीम ये गोल अचीव हो जाएगा ना तो मैं अपनी लाइफ जीऊंगी, मेरी मैरिज मेरा रिटायरमेंट में यहाँ पे जीना पसंद करूंगी. दैट यू कांट पोस्टपोन योर हैप्पीनेस. यू जस्ट नीड टू सीज द मोमेंट in everyday's life and try to be happy. See, days are coming, days are going, conflicts are coming and conflicts are going to happen. Like many more things are going to happen in your life. But if you have that happiness, if you have that peace within yourself, and nobody is going to give that happiness to you, neither your spouse, neither your child, no one. You are going to create your own happiness. So please go ahead, ask help from your support system, work on your happiness, create happy moments in your life. Preparing, just a minute. I'm not able to see the slide.
We can see.
Yeah, we can see, ma'am.
Okay, can you read it out for me? Preparing.
Next.
No. Creating happy moments after that.
Preparing mind to face any challenges.
Yeah, thank you so much. So preparing our mind to face any challenges in our life. If we are happy, definitely we will be able to, having that courage to face any challenges in our life. Basically, that happiness and peace is very, very important. And if you are together, if you have that close bond with your partner, then you would not at all have that anxiety and fear left within yourself, because you would be knowing that, yes, we are together. Yes, we can achieve impossible. So this is what we all need to practice in day-to-day life. In details, what we are supposed to do, definitely we are going to come back to that. Importance of having close relationships. When you are together with somebody, when you have that bonding with somebody, when you have that strong emotional connectivity with somebody, it could be your parents, it could be your spouse, what happens? Definitely it leads to, reduce your stress. It, leads to have a healthy mental, well-being. It keeps you away from all momentary pleasures such as addiction, substance abuse. It keeps you all away from all these momentary pleasures. When you're, when you love somebody, when you know that somebody is loving you, when you have that bonding together, when you have that connectivity, when you have sharing things with each other, just imagine, how do you feel? You feel happy. That happiness lead to better choices in your life. When you are in stress, just relate to yourself now. Just introspect within yourself. When you are in stress, what kind of choices do you make? And when you are in happiness, what kind of choices you make? Definitely it will create a huge difference. when it's not me again. Survey is saying that, researchers are saying that if you are happy within yourself, if you are content within yourself, you tend to have a better choices. And you know what, our life is all about having better, about choices. If we have a great consequences in our life, that happens because we choose correct things. When we have adverse problems in our life, adversities in our life, maybe yes, there are some inevitable issues, I'm not saying no to that, but most of the times we have problems because we have made some wrong choices. So choices are very important. See, challenges are going to happen, challenges are going to come. The life is all about coming lot of difficulties and coming lot of challenges. But what choices we are making in our life, that is very, very important. What decisions we are taking in our life, that is very, very important. As per that, we will set priorities also. So importance of close relationship is very important. If you have that bond, definitely it will lead to have a healthy, mind, body and soul. So meaningful relationship always keeps you happy, content, satisfied, and peaceful. Set your priorities. Most of the time, it's not only you or me. Most of the people happen to say that I don't have time. I know happiness is very important. I know I have to manage that me time. I know I have to pursue my hobby, but where is the time? Where is that time? See, everybody gets 24 hours in a day, but how do we utilize that time? That matters a lot. That, trust me, that matters a lot. So time management is equal to self-management. If we can do it properly, definitely, we will be able to achieve further. So there will be many, parents in SNEAK rehabilitation also. See, they are seeing the life more than, they are seeing that picture of life more than itself. They are managing their house chores, they are managing their own children, and still they are working hard to build this foundation. Again, they are managing their time. So yes, we have to manage that time, and we need to give priority to our relationships, because maybe we feel that that investment is not necessary, not needed right now. There are many things on my platter. I will look at it later. Right now, I need to focus on my child. I need to focus on the finances. I need to focus on blah, 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 blah things. So challenges are going to happen. But if you don't prioritize your relationship now, it will create a lot of repercussions in future. Trust me. And many a times, it's my observation, many a times people have broken marriages or people have separation. You know why? It's not because they don't love each other, they hate each other a lot. It is just because they never spend enough time to understand each other. They never create that priority to their relationship, and that is the reason gradually and slowly their relationships start getting drained. So please create that, I feel priority, or alarm yourself. No, I have to manage time. You can decide by yourself. This is like 1 week thing, and Monday, Tuesday, I have to do this. Wednesday, Thursday, I have to do that. Sunday, these are the priority stuff. Yes, this 2 hours I will spend for my relationship. I will spend just me and you. We will spend it together. Maybe we'll go for a walk. Maybe just we will go for a long drive. Maybe we will just sit together. Maybe I'm giving therapy to my child. Maybe I'm following some home program. We are just sitting together and just talking to each other. Maybe just watching newspaper or watching news channel or reading newspaper. We are just having healthy conversation. This quality time is very important, and I don't think so that we are so busy that we can't manage this time for our spouse. Ultimately, what we are doing, like why we are running for, why are all of us are running for? to give better life, to get better life, or to get happiness, to get all the resources which are required. If we have everything but we just don't have time for each other, what will happen? Where you will share that happiness? You need someone. See, we all are human beings. We have that sensitivity within ourselves. We have high need to be with somebody. We have high need to have a companion. So when you have it, nurture that relationship, nurture that friendship within yourself. That friendship is needed in the relationship, where you can feel free to talk anything. It's like, safe zone for you, where you can just go ahead and talk about things. So this priority is very important. If you prioritize, no matter what, how much time you have, you will be able to manage some time for each other. Just grabbing some moments. Sometimes high time is not needed. Just, when your husband is coming back from the office, going and just giving him a nice hug. When you're just, you're giving following some home program to your child, just coming and tapping on her shoulder. It could be anything. It could be a 1 minute moment also. But that is needed. We have forgotten that. See, when we are newly married, when we have that honeymoon phase with us, it's like all goody-goody. We are ready to have great adjustments. But slowly, this all fades away, because I call it as a superficial adjustments. Later on, you feel like, oh, I married to her and she's so different today. She's not the same anymore. Same she also thinks about you. Oh, he's so different. I felt he was so different, like, when I married him. Why it happens? See, the personality is dynamic. And with different circumstances, with different life experience, definitely you are going to behave in a different manner. Yes, there are many transformations are going to happen within yourself. And definitely you will behave differently. But first thing we need to accept that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. And so even my spouse is not perfect. I need to accept that. When I see all his negatives, I have to see all his positive as well. Because it can't be possible that people are always in white or black shades. People, all of us happen to be in gray shades. The way you have some flaws, even I have some flaws, and I have to accept it. I just can't keep on criticizing and blaming each other for that. So that is what the priorities. And what do I do in couple therapy? I just set priorities. I make them aware about priorities. And then they start working on their relationship. Forgiveness. A happy marriage is the union of two good forgivers. Is it so difficult to forgive somebody? Yes, there is a small video. I want you to see that video and then I'll come back to you.
मानो सारे हम फटाफट बेड पर जाओ जी।
वो मुझे
गुस्सा आ गया था। मुझे रेस्टोरेंट में बच्चों के सामने तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं कहना चाहिए था। बस हो जाता है, आइंदा ऐसा नहीं होगा। लेकिन मुझे मालूम है कि तुम फिर ऐसा ही करोगे। और मुझे ये भी मालूम है कि तुमने वापसी में गाड़ी क्यों रोकी थी। अब तुम मुझे एक गिफ्ट दोगे और बहुत ही आहिस्ता आवाज में सॉरी बोलोगे।
लेकिन तुम्हें कैसे?
15 साल हो गए, पहली दफा नहीं है मिस्टर मीटर। लेकिन गिफ्ट देने के लिए हमेशा पहले गुस्सा करना जरूरी नहीं।
सॉरी।
हाँ,
सॉरी।
Yes, what did we see in the video? Forgiveness, yes. So forgiveness is very important when we see, when we are aware whether whatever we have done is right or wrong. So how much efforts we need to make when to say simply sorry. Sorry is not a very big word. We just need to keep our egos aside and we just need to say sorry. Is it so much difficult, my dear friends? I've seen people, they just sake of doing lip job, they just say yes, sorry, but they don't mean it. And this is because of this, people do not forgive. First thing, if somebody is showing a big heart and coming to you and apologizing for their mistake, you need to forgive them because they're aware about it and they're accepting it. They have a regret towards it. But we don't happen to give forgiveness. We don't forgive people easily. We carry that baggage with us. Just imagine if I'll tell you to do a small exercise right now, hold a glass of water in your hand and hold it for few minutes. You won't feel any weight initial few minutes, like few seconds. Slowly, you will start getting some ache in your shoulder and your hand. And after some hours, you will feel that the glass of that water is very heavy. It was the same glass of water when you holded it initially. But with the time, it became so much heavy. Then what happens with us when we carry all the baggage throughout our lives? And then, in a very a negative manner, we start taunting each other. I see this taunting, then blaming and criticizing, then hitting your partner. It leads to a really negative repercussions in future. It creates huge damage in your relationship. And not only relationship, even your mental health also suffers a lot because these baggages are like wounds. And if you don't heal it, it is not going to, it is not going to feel happiness within yourself. It is not going to, it will always create that barricades to have that happiness, to experience happy things, to experience that, positive feelings. It will, constantly creates different triggers within yourself. Many a times fight happens, not because what happened today, in today's, situations. It fights because what had happened in the past. You relate everything with your past. You dig the, I feel, constant previous matters. You dig inside a lot. You bring out all the things in the surface again and again and again. That leads to a lot of conflicts in most of the relationship. Trust me, you can talk about your spouse, you can talk about your brothers, sisters, you can talk about your parents, take any relationship, even with friends. You go in, it happens to you that you go back to the past, you dig the holes and bring that in the present, and that affects your future. So first and foremost thing before forgiving somebody is heal your emotions, heal your wounds. And you're not forgiving somebody for his sake or her sake. You're forgiving somebody just for your sake. Because you want to remove that baggage within yourself. And when you will remove it, then only you will be able to live a happy life. So then only you will be able to create that healthy bond between your, you and your spouse. So that forgiveness is very important. There are two things why we don't forgive. First, we feel that if I will forgive him or if I will forgive her, that person will bring back that behavior again. Second, if I will, when somebody comes and says sorry, that person, try to be better, try to behave nicely, try to create a good atmosphere for you. So you feel that I don't want to leave that all positive things, and so I will not forgive that person. So these two things leads to a lot of negative consequences in your life. And see, forgiveness, it doesn't mean that you're condoning your, the person who has hurted you. It doesn't mean that. It is not that you're allowing that person to hurt you again. No, it is not that. These are misinterpretation. These are myths. If I'm forgiving someone, so I'm giving all rights to hurt him or hurt her again. No. Forgiving, it means you're just removing that baggages. You're just coming out of that ill zone. You're coming out of that negativity zone and moving ahead in your life. And hence forgiveness is very important. Just let go, just forgive and live your life without not letting that person come inside your boundaries again, without not letting that person hurt you again. Sit together, talk about that mistake. Happy is not going to work only. You just, sit together, discuss about that mistake, express yourself. What do you really want from the person? What do you really want from your spouse? And then discuss about the solution, how that behavior will not occur again. So find out solution. The people who are solution oriented, they never only discuss problems in their life. Because what's our problem? We only discuss problems. First thing, we need to admit that you are not a problem, I am not a problem. Problem is a problem. And there I need to find out solutions. So forgiveness is extremely very important for all of us to move on in our life. Developing emotional connectivity with your spouse. What things we all need to do. That's what I just said. Problems are the problems. If problems are not you, neither me. And together we need to find a solution. And we belong to a same team. We are not sailing through a sea from two different boats. We are sailing through a sea from same boat. We are a team. And we need to show that team spirit while working in the relationship, while dealing with the child, while working on the family life. So that team spirit when we are playing, when we are playing a cricket or a tennis or a football, what do we do? When one of the member is getting weakened on some grounds, we immediately go and try help that person. We extend our hand because we want to win. Why don't we do it at house? Why don't we implement that in the family? Because our ways are so much apart. We have so much of indifference within us that we just forget that we belong to same team. Build friendship with your spouse. Just go back in your past memories, and when you started your union together, when you started your relationship together, how was it? If we happen to have such a great companion in our life, then if that companion becomes my friend, how beautiful life I can imagine. See, adversities everyone will be having, challenges everyone will be having, but I have that friendship with me constantly. When I have that safe zone, when I have that comfort zone where I can spend good memories with, spend time, I can create good memories with somebody. And that friendship is very essential for any marriage. And how that friendship will happen. Just imagine, take example of any of your friend. Why do you like that friend a lot? Because that friend give you acceptance, how much ever good or bad you are. That friend accept you the way you are. We feel, that comfort zone, or we feel that safe space because we can just went on, we can express our emotions, we can discuss so many things at a different level with that friend. So if that friendship is there inside your house, why don't you nurture it? Why don't you just, it's like a treasure hunt, I feel. Your relationship is like a treasure hunt. The more you will go inside, the more, surprises you will receive. So work on your friendship, express gratitude and appreciation. That's what we always, especially in Indians. Sorry, I'm not being very prejudiced. But yes, we never happens to say thank you to the people who are closely related to us. Just remember how, when did you last said thank you to your mother? Or thank you to your father? Or thank you to your husband or a wife? We just take each other for granted like anything. Yes, we do that. And because of that, how long you will take each other for granted? Slowly, your relationship will start draining and you will feel suffocated within itself. So whenever and however it is possible, just go ahead and say thank you. If your wife gave a glass of water. When you were thirsty, you came from home office. Say thank you. When your husband is helping you to make, to do some work for you, maybe he's coming in kitchen and doing some pour for you, say thank you. So that thank you and that showing gratitude is very important. It keeps you aware that yes, somebody is doing something for me. That person has contribution in my life, and that person will feel recognized. Yes, she recognizes or he recognizes my contribution in the relationship, and she or he is feeling gratitude towards it. That person will feel immediately motivated henceforward to do better and better things in life. We all have come across behavioral modification for our kids, isn't it? Everybody, I know all the parents are super experts, maybe more than me also. Being psychologist, I can say I have a lot to learn from you because you are experiencing it every day and learning a lot through that experiences, attending therapies, attending different workshops. When we all know that behavioral modification, how it works, how the positive reinforcement is, how much ever it is required, do we use it for our marriage? No. We just do it in such a monotonous manner that we never realize even my marriage also need appreciation. Even my marriage also needs positive reinforcement. Most of the times I share this short example. जब हस्बैंड घर पे आता है और उसकी पत्नी उसको खाना परोसती है, she had taken a lot of efforts to cook that, prepare that cuisine for the husband. And husband comes and says that in one situation, the husband appreciates her a lot. The way you cook rotis and this paneer ka sabzi, it's so amazing. I never ever feel like going out and have a, food outside. You're just amazing cook. What happens next? She happens to prepare that, vegetable, paneer sabzi and that same roti again and again, at least twice or thrice in that same month, because she feels extremely motivated. In another situation, when she serves the food to the husband and husbands deny it, reject it and says, कुछ तो सीखती है अपने मम्मी पापा से, कुछ नहीं तो मेरी माँ से जाके सीख, तुझे कुछ नहीं आता, बिल्कुल अच्छे से नहीं बना है खाना. So what happens next? आपको जली हुई रोटी खानी पड़ती है. Isn't it true? So motivation is very required in any relationships. ऐसे नहीं है कि सिर्फ बच्चों को मोटिवेट करना है, उनको एनकरेज करना है. सारा दुनिया भर का बिहेवियरल मॉडिफिकेशन सिर्फ बच्चों के लिए यूज करना है. अप्लाई इट इन योर लाइफ एज वेल. एंड आई ऑलवेज सेज above than all, what is a great behavioral modification is positive reinforcement. Trust me, the strength which this modification, behavioral modification has, no other modification can give you that better result in long term. Maybe you have to go a lot. Maybe you have to, put a lot of efforts into that specific part, like, building that positive reinforcement. But in long term, definitely that helps you a lot. So don't take each other for granted. Life is all about gratitudes and appreciations. Focus on that. Involvement of both the parents is essential in child development. It's really very important. When the child sees a positive atmosphere around him or around her, then the child grow really well. Again, it is research based. It's not something which I am just telling you. I've seen it, I have experienced it, I have, done a lot of research over it, read a lot of research about it. This positiveness from the family definitely go inside or transfers into the child. When the child sees that parents have a great bond together, they are happy together, they are spending good memories together, they understand each other. If they have conflict also, if they have disagreements also, they resolve it very well. Then child also develops a lot, grows very nicely. But when the child sees that parents are constantly fighting with each other, they are not respecting each other, they are just, throwing things at each other, blaming and criticizing, and, all ill things are happening inside the house. How do you feel what that child is feeling? How you can just imagine what the child must be thinking or feeling? The child feels extremely devastated within self. That positive atmosphere is very important, that is completely in your hand to create that positive atmosphere for your mental health also and for your child's sake also. So if your child has the positive atmosphere, definitely you will be able to see a better results and better development in your child. Trust me. So all these things are very important. And I feel for today, we will stop here. The next part of the topic, see, this webinar is connected with each other. So this is sincere request from me to you is that you have to be regular. Only 2 sessions are left now. You have to be regular. If you would miss out any of the session, you will, miss a big chunk. And next 2 sessions are far more important than today, because today we spent a lot of time in, building the context, introduction, understanding what we are going to learn and so on. But after this next 2 days are very, very important for you. And definitely that would be able to, if you happen to implement, that will be able to create a great transformation in your life. So as I've told you before, we will be sharing a Google Form link, and you have to fill the Google Form. I can assure you that as a psychologist, I have my own ethics. I will be keeping that confidential, that Google Form will be reachable to only me. And then I will come across many problems which are facing practically, and definitely I will talk on it in next 2 sessions. And that is how I can reach you better, right? So whatever queries you have, whatever concerns you have, feel free, feel comfortable to discuss that with me. So it won't take more than 10 minutes or 5 minutes to fill that Google form. So now I will hand over to Harshali ma'am again.
Yes, ma'am. It was wonderful session. Actually, we could relate to all these problems literally, because from time to diagnosis, we forget our internal personal relationship, and also many things happened with me also. I can relate to those that cooking wala example. Like if we don't appreciate, or we don't do that, no, how we feel it. Next time we are not ready to cook for that person and everything like that. So I can relate very well. I'm sure other parents also can relate various things with their life. Anyone has any rational query, then they can unmute and ask. We are not taking any personal queries. We have 10-15 minutes, so we can take rational views. Is anybody there? Anybody want to say something, or they can unmute and say also?
I think what I feel, Harshali ma'am, I knew
Yeah.
it somewhere, like, relationships is something very personal and very private matters.
Yes.
And nobody likes to discuss it, publicly on open forum. Yes, some rational queries or some general queries, definitely you can ask. And because of that, I knew it. And because of that, I happened to make this Google form. So I would be able to reach you personally and would be able to tackle certain issues without by keeping it confidential and not losing your identity.
Yes, Madhu, you can ask your query.
Hello, ma'am. As you said, the person is going to say sorry to you. So take it granted. But what if person is not feeling sorry for their work, and if they are feeling also, if they are not feeling also, then also they are saying sorry for end of the conversation. So what will be the result? Then we will feel very frustrated and very lose somewhere.
True.
And if they are not discussing anything to you, what is matter to them? If you are just shouting like a mad, and they are not replying to you anything, so what does that we are supposed to mean?
Yes, I understand your query. It happens it's a very common scenario, I would say. As I have said, forgiveness और माफ करना हम दूसरों के लिए नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are forgiving just for ourselves. क्योंकि अगर हम उनको माफ नहीं कर देंगे ना, तो हम हमारे लिए वुंड्स तैयार कर लेंगे. Like we will create wounds for ourselves, and it is very much needed for ourselves to move on. Yes, maybe that person is just doing lip job, just saying sorry without having any meaning out of inside it, and again coming and hurting you. So you need to create boundaries for yourself. How much that allowing person to letting in with the, you know, within yourself. And you know what, dear, it's not only that particular incident. Maybe that person is not having any sensitivity towards you. That is today's scenario. But why that situation got created? Maybe you are not having appropriate communication with that person. And there you need to work on how to communicate basically. And there will be a lot of loopholes in the relationship which you missed out in the past. And how to work on that again, how to rejoice that relationship, how to regain that, you know, joy in that relationship, that you need to spend time and work on. And yes, definitely there will be toxic people around us. And how much ever we put efforts, we won't get any result also. That time we just need to forgive and move on. Because if we will carry that baggage, then it will become heavier and heavier for us. हम वहीं पे stuck हो जाते हैं. We become stuck in that zone and we don't move. So,
Ma'am,
as
I
I've
have a
told you-
question.
Yes.
See, actually, you told that we need to discuss everything with the spouse and all. But I have a special child with ADHD.
Hmm.
How many times I explained my husband, he's not ready to accept it.
Okay.
That is where we are getting conflicts of very, very, very severely.
Okay. So basically, he is having denial. Let me tell you, it is his anxiety that he is away from acceptance. It's not that he's not aware. He is. It's just that he's not ready to accept it.
Yes.
Okay, first thing. Secondly, just create a situation where he's handling your child for a day. Let him have experience that.
He will beat him very badly. He'll curse him. He use all abusive language. He cannot
Okay.
handle the child for an hour.
That's what I'm saying. It is anxiety. Then ask him why you're not able to handle it. Ask
That's
him.
what
Ask appropriate questions. A
He
positive
says-
probing would help. Ask him
Yeah.
only. What do you think?
Yeah.
Why other children are getting managed? Why our child is not able to, you know, get managed? Why he's
Yes.
having excess of energy? Why? You tell me.
Yes,
It's okay.
I
He's
asked
not
him,
having any. Hmm.
No, I asked him a number of times. He says he is like that because only of your pampering.
Okay. So ask him, what kind of parenting do you expect from me? Ask him
No,
that.
he says that you have to punish him, you have to beat him, then only he'll be listening to you. Otherwise, he will never.
Okay. So ask him, if I would constantly criticizes you, if don't mean like if somebody constantly criticizes you, if somebody constantly disrespect you, if somebody constantly giving ill treatment to you like a prisoner, how would you feel being adult? He's the young one. He's a
Yeah,
little one. He is a very sensitive child. If beyond that, if you feel still these issues you're not able to tackle, then I feel it is a high time you need to reach to an expert.
Yes,
Who would be
because
able to
even though
help you
all this
out.
happening, all the therapies, I'll only take care of him, everything, academics, everything is on my head only. But still, he'll never cooperate. No support system here.
So that's what I'm saying. Somehow you need to communicate to him for my sake. Maybe I'm at wrong place. Maybe I'm not right. But let's go to a therapy. Let's go for a counseling where even I'll be aware that counselor will be able to help me out where all areas I'm doing things wrong. Maybe
Okay.
I'm not able to understand it from you. You're trying hard to help me out to understand how to deal with a child. Maybe I'm at a incorrect end. So let's go ahead to an expert who would help me than you
Okay.
to make things better. You come. If you really love me, if you have that affection towards me, just one day you manage time for myself. Let's take me to a therapist. Maybe I need it. So what
Okay.
you're doing, you're taking that responsibility on your shoulder. You tried hard to communicate everything. You tried, now nothing is working. If you would try to challenge him, then things will be, you know, completely into a jump into a completely difficult situation. So don't challenge him. Don't try to go against him, because again, the egos, these nurtured egos, will not let him understand you or listen to you what you're saying. And another thing, as I've told you, he is aware. It's just that he's not ready to accept. You know, dear, what happens with us, all of us, we have children and we have a lot of ego extensions to them. We have a lot of expectations from them, that they should be able to do this, they should be able to do that, they should be better than us, and so on. When these all things are not getting fulfilled, it comes in, you know, the anxieties builds up. It leads to a lot of frustration. And trust me, there were many parents, you know, they went for a therapy, initial lot of denial, but later on it go through so well and they had great acceptance. Don't delay the process. जितना आप टाइम you know spend करोगे समझाने में, उतना ही आपका relationship खराब होता जाएगा. So please
And
take
now
it,
I'm
go
just
for it.
planning to put him in a hostel.
Okay, what's his age?
He is 11 now.
Okay, are you sure it would really help you out? Have you done
Why? Because
enough
now
research?
staying in a unhealthy environment is
True,
damaging
I understand.
him more.
But again, I would say, before giving it up, try to work on it.
That's what.
Because child needs you the most.
Yeah.
And
Because
I'm not sure that how the child will grow, because already the child has developed a lot of ill memories. And again, you are, you know, keeping him away from the family. So somewhere the child will land up cursing himself and would have completely low self-esteem and would think that it's because of me. It's because of me my parents are fighting. It's because of me, you know, everything is happening bad. And so my family abandoned me. Don't let him go into the abandonment. You know, that feeling is extremely ill. So initially, I would advise you work on your relationship and just try a change.
fine.
Take
fine.
some time.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Roderick sir, you can ask your question or
Anyone else?
Yes, ma'am, Priya ma'am. I'd like to add in over here something. See, we basically husband and
Hello?
wife here. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So we are married for say about 17 years now,
Yes, yes.
and we have got two special children. I've got a daughter age 13 and a son age 11, both autistic. So what happened was when we got married itself, we got a very good advice by someone who was attending to our marriage, is that no matter like whatever fights or something that you have, okay, try to resolve that before you go to bed, no matter what. And till date, we have been
Lovely.
trying to follow
Yes.
this till date. Like, we have been trying to follow that advice. That was one part. The second part was, no matter how much of arguments you all have, don't bring out your family members in between. Like your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, either of us.
True.
So now the situation is that the acceptance level of ours has become so much, that even though we have got two kids, and you know how difficult it is managing two kids on the spectrum.
Yes, I understand.
So what?
Hats off that you're really taking a lot of efforts.
No, in fact, the effort has gotten to so much extent, because the love and understanding towards each other has gone on as a positive note to the kids. Okay, that what we do is, since 24 hours is not enough for us, we put the kids sleep to first. Okay, and we'll wake up maybe 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the night to finish out the pending work, or else to plan for the next day, to have a plan
Sir, you're not
scheduled.
audible.
Can you hear? Hello.
Yeah, in between,
Yes, we
yeah,
can
I'm
hear
just
you.
losing your.
Yeah. So what we do is midnight we'll get up and we try to complete the course, what is there, and plan for the next day. Having said that, on a positive note, as I've been mentioning everyone, see both my kids, okay, although they're autistic, both are in a Guinness Book of World Records for skating. They do deep sea swimming. Both my kids are totally independent in the kitchen, okay, as well as household activities. So there is no negativity, you keep your positivity within yourself and work with the kids. All issues will be sorted out. But the
True.
root thing is there has to be an understanding between the husband and the wife to discuss everything, no matter what. And the same positivity will go to your kids, because the kids, what they do, they read our minds. No matter what, if you are negative, the kid will automatically understand. And secondly, tantrums and meltdowns are a part of our life. Okay.
True,
So
true,
if
true.
we keep on concentrating on those tantrums and meltdowns, then we will never be able to focus further. So those 5 minutes, we need to let go, concentrate on the positivity. So what we do is we take it as there are some good times and there are not so good times. But then the
Yes.
positivity has to carry on, because we need to be healthy, so we can move on. The healthy mind, the healthy thoughts that we have got, we can pass on to our kids.
True.
There's just a small sharing from my end, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rodrigues. It was really needed. Like, I would
Yeah,
call
it's
it experiences talks more than, and I feel the achievements which your children could, children have just because you're great bonding with your spouse. You are the roots, positive roots, and because of that, they grew so well. And I think this is a great learning which we all have to take it from you. And thank you so much for your sharing your experience with all of us.
we are very inspiring.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, for all of us. Anyone else, or we can? I think we can end here. Let's meet on next Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, to carry on this wonderful discussion. Yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a question. Question from ma'am and all.
Huh?
Feedback and experience about the husband and wife relationship. So my question is, when there is an argument between a family member and maybe a spouse, either husband or wife, then what should be what should the other partner, he or she react or he should do? I mean, like sir said, spouse or couple has any fight, then nobody should interrupt. But what if a lady or wife is having argument or a debate kind of thing with a mother-in-law? So in that time, what should husband do? He should give support to wife, or he should not say anything, or he should not come in between both of them? So I want to know that.
Dear, it's depend on the way you are having argument. We can have a healthy arguments also. And if we have that boundaries, that if we respect each other and we are not crossing over it.
Arguments, whenever arguments are happening, it means that it's not easy to handle that particular situation. That's why, situation came to that level, that
True.
such a harsh things are going on.
True. I understand. That's what I said. You need to work on your emotions, how constructively you're coming up. Just because the person in front of me is not respecting me, it means even I have to reciprocate the same way. It's not right. Then she's angry, you're angry, and both are losing that respect for each other, fighting a lot, and again staying in that same house. How much sound it is. And then that husband will be the sufferer the most, because for him, the wife and mother both are equally important. So you need to learn different ways of communication, how to calm yourself, how to work on your emotions, how to express. See, arguments are healthy when there is a, great listening is happening, great communication is happening. It's just that if you are just blaming each other and fighting with each other with no solution of findings, then it will take nowhere. It's better than saying nothing. So if you're having argument, but you're finding some ways, sometimes we have arguments over silly things. So there we need to see, maybe that person is not aware. See, I'll give you a small story and would you try to understand. The story is about Lord Buddha. So Buddha was in the meditation and with a great smile on his face. And one of the person happened to came there and he started cursing Buddha like anything. He blamed him, he cursed him, he screamed at him, he talked all about him and like completely a bad things he was doing with Buddha. Lord Buddha still was smiling. After some time, that person got very frustrated. Like, I'm saying so much ill to you, how come you happen to smile at me? Then Buddha said very peacefully, see, you're a guest at my place. And like other guests, you got a gift for me. And this gift of all hatred, gift of all screaming, blaming, criticizing, shouting, all ill things. Just accepting that gift or denying that gift is completely in my hand. And I happen to deny it. So the remote control should be in our hand. We can't afford to be a puppet. Somebody will, trigger us, then we will be angry. Somebody will trigger us, then we will be happy. Yes, it will happen. I'm not saying that you don't feel bad. You don't feel, angry. You don't feel all these things. But I'll give you example of a Bobo doll and puppet doll. Puppet doll is a very beautiful, pretty looking doll, which she has given all the threads in others' hand. If somebody punches her, she feels very bad. If somebody makes her feel happy, she feels very happy. If somebody makes her feel very sad, she feels very sad. If somebody triggers her up, she feels very angry. But Bobo doll maybe looks very simple, standing on a spring, looks very fragile. But if somebody punches her, she bends it for a while, but again she gets up. Somebody says bad, she feels bad, definitely, but she again comes back to a normal position. So you need to work tremendously on yourself. Not expecting, husband to be a judge. Whether he should, किसके साइड में उसको victory देनी है या फिर किसके साइड में बात करनी है. Don't be dependent on that. Because for him, both the relations are very important. Mother also and wife also. In fact, I will advise your husband not to take anybody's side to create a healthy atmosphere in the house. Because अगर आपकी साइड से वो बोलेगा तो मम्मी और ट्रिगर हो जाएगी. और मम्मी के साइड से वो बोलेगा तो आप और ट्रिगर हो जाओगे. So it will be a very conscious choice will be he would not take anybody's side. You might have felt offended, but yes, we all have to be solution oriented, not problem oriented, and keep remote control in our hand. Tremendous work. I know already you are lying with a lot of challenges and frustrations and everything. I understand. I can relate with you. Trust me, I can relate with you. But no better solution than what I just said right now.
Okay, so this was the last query. We will stop here. Let's meet on 15th of February. Next, in the next session, we have posted a Google form here. We will post in the group also. Okay, Priya ma'am, thank you so much for this wonderful session. See you. Good night, everyone.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.